You didn't have any leverage to come in acting the way y'all came in acting. Shedeur thought he was Deion. No, nigga, your daddy was the 5th pick in the draft. Your daddy was one of them ones. Your daddy was undeniable. You weren't. You had one good season at Colorado, and y'all beat basketball schools. Let's keep it a buck. Y'all were playing basketball schools. You wasn't in the SEC. You wasn't playing nobody for real. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all do me a favor and drop a like on the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. You already know who it is. It's your boy, Reggie. Deion Sanders, ladies and gentlemen, is destroying Shedeur Sanders' career, and he might not even realize it, folks. So, prior to the NFL draft earlier this year, Deion Sanders was going on different podcasts, and he was telling people that there were certain teams he did not want Shedeur Sanders to play for. Now, one of those teams that many people speculated about was the Cleveland Browns. Now, to me, I think in hindsight, that was a bogus move by Deion Sanders. And I'm going to tell you guys why. No matter how dysfunctional an organization is, if you're that guy, you should be able to walk into that organization and turn that organization around. I'll give you guys an example. And this is actually an Ohio team, by the way. The Cincinnati Bengals, folks. Before Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals were a dumpster fire, right? They were garbage, folks. Joe Burrow came, and the Cincinnati Bengals ended up in the Super Bowl, right? Joe Burrow's really like that. Won a national championship in college at LSU. Joe Burrow can play. I'll give you another example. LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. When LeBron James got drafted in 2003, the Cleveland Cavaliers were considered probably the worst organization in the sport of basketball. LeBron James was really like that, folks. He went to that organization and turned that organization around, right? If you're really like that, you can go to a bad situation and find success. If you're really like that. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine if LeBron James would have said, nah, I don't want to go to Cleveland. Or imagine if his mom would have came out and said, nah, I don't want my son going to Cleveland. Folks, LeBron James was broke, poor, in the hood. His dream was to get to the NBA. It didn't matter where he went. All he wanted to do was get to the league and secure his family's financial future. Ladies and gentlemen, here is where Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders went wrong. Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders, they were up off of college football. When Shedeur Sanders was at Colorado, he had one of the highest NILs of any player in the sport. He had one of the highest NIL evaluations of any player in the sport, folks. The highest. He was making the most money of any player. We all know the contract that Colorado gave to Deion Sanders. I think they just signed him for like $50 million. So they're coming in with a bag already, right? This is where they went wrong, in my opinion. You guys wanted to get Shedeur Sanders to the NFL level, but yet you treated the NFL as if they needed you and not the other way around. This is still a job at the end of the day, folks, right? We heard reports that Shedeur Sanders showed up to the draft combine and pretty much gave, everybody his ass to kiss. Told certain teams, listen, maybe we're not a fit. This is all documented. This is all reported, folks. And that rubbed pretty much the entire NFL the wrong way, because Shedeur Sanders didn't get selected until the 5th round by who? The team that Deion Sanders said he didn't want Shedeur Sanders to go to, which was the Cleveland Browns. So I came across, ladies and gentlemen, a tweet, and apparently Mel Kiper Jr., he is already doing mock drafts for the draft next year. And you guys won't believe who he's projecting the Cleveland Browns to take in next year's draft. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys can see, this is Mel Kiper's 2026 NFL mock draft. And right now, he's got Dante Moore, the quarterback at Oregon, going number 6 to the Cleveland Browns. So this is what Dante Moore is doing this season. He is 6'3", 206 pounds, 20 years old, played 8 games this season, 71% completion percentage, over 1,700 yards, and 19 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions. Ladies and gentlemen, I told y'all that this was happening. I told y'all this. The Cleveland Browns are not trying to win. That's why they're not playing Shedeur Sanders, folks. The Cleveland Browns are tanking. They're tanking, folks, and they're planning, more than likely, to get another quarterback in next year's draft, right? This is what's going on here, folks, in Cleveland. I believe the Cleveland Browns took Shedeur Sanders to spite Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders and the entire Sanders family and let them know, listen, this isn't college football. We don't care about what y'all did on the college level. We don't care about any of that. None of that matters here. This is our league. We run this. And folks, you can't blame them, right? Like, it is their league at the end of the day. This is a job, you know? And I don't want to hear anything about, oh, you know, they're racist and all that. Man, stop it, man. Them folks took Cam Ward number 1 overall, and he's black with dreads. So I don't want to hear no conspiracy theories, folks. At the end of the day, did we hear Cam Ward's mommy and daddy say, oh, we don't want our son going to Tennessee? When has Tennessee been good, folks? Tennessee's trash. They've been trash forever. They're not a good organization. Did you hear Cam Ward's family saying, oh, yeah, I don't want my son playing for Tennessee? No, they did everything the right way, folks. They showed up, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, yes, massa. They did everything the right way. They got in the door first. That's what Deion Sanders and the Sanders family should have done. You got to get in the door first, you know? You got to get some leverage first. Look at LeBron James. Did LeBron James start bucking when he first came into the league? No. He got into the league, got some leverage first, and then he started maximizing his power. The Sanders family wanted to come in maximizing leverage that they didn't have. You didn't have any leverage to come in acting the way y'all came in acting. Shedeur thought he was Deion. No, nigga, your daddy was the 5th pick in the draft. Your daddy was one of them ones. Your daddy was undeniable. You weren't. You had one good season at Colorado, and y'all beat basketball schools. Let's keep it a buck. Y'all were playing basketball schools. You wasn't in the SEC. You wasn't playing nobody for real. But you came in and you thought you was like that. You gave everybody your ass to kiss, and the NFL gave you their ass to kiss. And that's what they're doing to this day. So, in my opinion, like I said, this is all on Deion Sanders and Shedeur. You know, they played this the wrong way. They did. And we got to hold them accountable. We can't sit up here and keep making excuses for them, because y'all didn't do certain things the right way. And that's evident by the position that Shedeur finds himself in right now. So hopefully they've learned their lesson and they move differently in the future. Hopefully Shedeur gets another chance with another team. But ladies and gentlemen, you guys just saw the mock draft for next season. The Cleveland Browns ain't finna do nothing with Shedeur Sanders. They don't want anything to do with this circus. I believe they just drafted him as a fuck you to Deion Sanders. So that's really all I got, folks. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man, in the comment section down below. And I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. This was another installment of The Locker Room. Peace.